Okay,
Hello,
so
Ashim.
hi, Sochi.
How are you?
All good.
Very good, very good. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for coming and talk to me.
Thank you.
Um, we just spoke before, and yeah, you just mentioned that you just moved to Australia in October. Yeah,
Yes.
cool. So, how does it feel to be here?
Yeah, it feels great. It's a lovely country. The people are awesome here. It's just like a little less than a month that I've moved in here, and I'm actively looking for a job here. I got some opportunities to interact with the local folks here, going to the shops and
Yep,
they were very nice. They were very cool
yep.
people, and I love this place here. The weather is awesome. I mean, I came from India,
Oh,
and
especially now.
here, yeah, yeah, it's just awesome. And of course, we had Halloween a few days back, and we will be having Christmas in a couple of weeks. My son is 5 years old, and I just took him to these events, and
Mhm.
it was just great experience. We do have these events back in India as well, but here it's
Diwali.
very different. Yeah, we have Diwali, we have Halloween and
It was the
Christmases.
same day as Halloween, I heard.
Yes, yes. This year
So,
it
but
was
you
on the
chose to
same.
go to Halloween. Is that because you don't celebrate Diwali?
Yeah, no, no. This year it was on the same day. Every year it's not. But
Did you
the
still
way
celebrate Diwali
we still, yeah,
on the
it's a
same
big
day or
festival.
different?
No, no, it may be different. It doesn't come on the same day every year.
No,
This year
but
it
this
was
year,
on the same.
did
Yeah.
you celebrate Diwali,
Uh,
or
this
did you
year
celebrate both on the same day?
I celebrated a mini Diwali, I would say, not the way we do in
Not a
India.
full blown Diwali. Yeah,
Yeah,
this food
not
the
like
food was half spicy. Yeah.
food. Yeah, I mean, the food here is a lot less spicy. I come from Hyderabad, and
Ah,
the food
okay.
there is just too spicy. I mean, I myself,
Wow.
being an Indian, I feel it's spicy.
Yeah.
So obviously it's very
So here
spicy.
it's a
But
joke.
here,
Yeah.
sorry,
You mean in the restaurants, right?
in the restaurants, in the general households as well.
Okay.
The food
Okay.
is, yeah, the food is very spicy, but I don't like that food. I'm relatively less oil and less
You're
spice eater.
westernized.
No, I'm a bit of a health conscious person. I do my
Yeah.
workouts in the morning.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
get up early. I get up at around 5 in the morning. By 6 I'm in the
Wow.
gym.
Wow.
I do
Nice.
a good, yeah, I do good workout
That's cool.
for 1.5 hours, sometimes 2 hours, you know and then I come
Cool.
back. I get prepared for my office. I
Yeah.
prepare my
It
son
energizes
for.
you. It sets you in the mood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Unlike a good coffee.
generally, yes, I generally prefer working out in the morning because you're fresh at that time, and by the time you come out of the gym, you're full of energy, and you
Yeah.
can start your day with that motivation.
How
So I
about
do that.
programming?
Uh,
Do you like it also on a fresh head in the morning, or your mind
yes, yes.
works better in
No,
the evening?
what I do is when I start my day in the morning, I start with my Scrum calls, and right after Scrum calls, I sit with my code, and I try to finish it off before lunchtime. Most of the time I'll do that, unless the system is unavailable or something like that. But I'll try to do that in the morning hours, and post lunch I'll just try to fix the code or do the relative thing. I mean, the
Chores.
clerical things. Yeah, the clerical course, like checking in, raising a PR, and those kind of stuff, right? The
Yeah.
clerical
And
stuff,
have
testing
meetings.
the code. Yeah, by the end of the day, I try to finish off my work by testing it.
Yeah.
Check in is done, PR is raised. If I have to review something, that is done. So those things I do generally on the second half of the day.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch my code during the late hours, because I don't want to mess it up, right? I'll leave it for the next
Yeah.
day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's like
If
I like your structural thinking, like and your scheduling, because it almost sounds like a mini sprint for the whole day.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
plan, you
I
plan in the stand up, and then you run the sprint, and then you have to kind of you stop making changes. You make a little code freeze in the
yes,
afternoon. You
yes,
fix it,
yes,
do bugs, code
yes.
reviews, and then
Yeah.
you kind of finish your PR by the end of the day.
Yes.
Does it often happen? Like, does it happen most of the time, or a lot of times you would say how often you fail delivering by the end of the day?
What I generally try to do is, if I feel that sometimes it happens, a piece of work is a bit complex, and by midday or by lunch, I'm unable to bring it to a graceful shape, right? I would see what's the I would probably post lunch. I'll give 1 hour or 2 hours max. If it doesn't settle by then, I'll not do it that day. I'll follow it up on the
Mm,
next day, because
sure.
I don't want to, mess up the existing stuff. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes people make mistakes there. They don't deliberately do the mistakes, but in a rush, because they have their, they have to go back home. There are traffic problems in
Yeah.
India, and what they do is they mess up things there. I don't want to do that. What I
You
do
mean for the
is, if
team?
I yeah, for the team.
Yeah.
And I always
Yeah.
recommend, when I lead the teams, I always recommend that if it's not working on a certain day, it happens, right? We are all
Yeah.
human beings. On certain day you're tired or you're unable
Yeah.
to do something, right? It happens with me also. Sometimes you're in too
Mm,
much of meetings. Sometimes,
yeah.
let's say there was a war room the previous day, and you're drained
Mhm.
out. You had a late
Yeah.
night call and you're drained out. You're not able to focus.
Yeah.
So on those days, I recommend my team as well that don't touch the code, do other
Yeah.
things, right? If you had some pending stuff that was waiting, sometimes we have some internal trainings that needs to be done, or sometimes we had to review something, maybe, or maybe some clerical things here and there left out, so, or catch up on something, or a documentation work. Don't touch the code, you know,
Sure.
because better not to mess up
Yeah.
in trying to do something by stretching out.
Makes
So I don't
sense.
do
Yeah.
that.
In a team environment, the working code, the stable code base,
Yes,
which allows people to test
yes,
their stuff, to get the
yes,
latest
yes,
version, is more important than individual task results.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And when we code in an enterprise environment, right? It's not a college project like you just code and you leave. It's not like that. You have to
Yeah.
write the test for that as well. And if you
Yeah.
don't do that, your sonar will complain, your build will break. It's
Yeah.
not graceful, right? You just leave a code that is not building, that is not ready for CI, right?
Sure.
It doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah. Yeah.
if you're doing something, you have to do it gracefully. If you're not able to close it by the end of that day, use some time next day. Maybe you can come a bit early, maybe an hour early, and you can finish it off then. But don't break something that is working.
That's
Yeah.
a golden rule. You mentioned the term I picked on, war room. Did you
Yes.
say war room?
Yes.
What's
Yes.
that? I've never heard it in the software development environment before.
War room. It's actually a war room. You know, what happens there is, there is something broken in production. Okay,
Hmm.
there can be a number of reasons behind it. Generally, it's infrastructural issues, database slowness, right?
Hmm.
On some occasions, it may happen that some code had slipped in there, which has caused an issue. But
Hmm.
now what happens is, whoever has written it doesn't matter. But when you are leading the team, you have to be involved, and you have to troubleshoot and you have to fix it, right?
Yeah.
What we do in the war rooms is, generally in production environment, right? You will have a team who would always observe the matrices, the graphs, basically the observabilities, right? And
Yeah.
if they see that there is some issue somewhere in the system, some orders are not processing, or some message queues have piled up, they would call up everyone. people from dev, people
Yeah.
from DevOps,
Because
QA,
you
all
still don't know the
representation.
root cause, yeah.
You don't know
So
the
you
root
have to get
cause.
everyone in,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, you have to have everyone in the meeting, and
because
there
it's
has to be
urgent as well.
yes, representation from every team, right? So, and then you start troubleshooting what happens. You
Mhm.
come to the finally the root cause of the problem, and until that problem is resolved, the war room is not stopped. It will continue. The
Yeah.
meeting continues, right?
Yeah, so it's like non-stop meeting that
Yes,
kind of goes
because
on until
it's
it's resolved. Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, because it's a
So it's
prod
like, yeah,
environment.
yeah, like I would say situation room, also like a
Yes,
synonym.
yes,
But the war room,
yes.
when you said it, I was like, oh, who is the enemy then? The bug, the issue, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in at least in India, we use that terminology.
Yeah,
Basically,
which company?
the in I worked in different companies. Like I worked in EPAM, I worked in Optum Global Solutions, which is an American health insurance company,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of we used to have a lot of war rooms there because it was a
So it's like a
legacy product.
common term that I'm not aware of being in software development for 20 years. Wow. I feel left out.
Okay, so basically, it's a meeting which needs to have representation from
Yeah, no, no, I get
every
it. I get it.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it just goes on until it's resolved, right?
yeah,
It's because it's a
yeah.
prod environment. It has revenue impact.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
What you will be looking for in Australia? Like, where do you wanna be?
so when I started working in this industry back in 2007, fresh out from college, right?
Yeah.
I did not have a lot of knowledge of technology, right?
Mhm.
Today, freshers they talk a lot of stuffs. They talk of AI, they talk of a lot of stuffs. But back then, there was no cloud computing either. I mean,
Mm.
forget about AI.
It was
Of
just
course,
.NET and Java.
yeah, it was just .NET and Java. That's it. Everything was on premise, right? There was some servers around, and
Yeah.
I joined this industry back then, and I did not have a lot of knowledge of technology. And when I joined, I saw that okay, this is how the industry works, right? I When I joined, I had I had a thought that okay, there's so much of there are innovations that you do each day of your career
Yeah.
as a software engineer. But when
It
I
never
joined,
gets
I
boring
saw
now.
yeah, when I joined, I was fresh. I didn't have any real ground experience, and over the 17 years, I learned the realities, how the software engineers each day goes on, right? It's not that on some days it may happen that you'll just end up in just meetings, right? You may
Hmm.
not just have any innovation or anything or any real quality coding that day. It can happen, right? And
Yeah.
that is the ground reality. So I explored that. Now when we were sitting in India, we were looking at our clients who were based out of UK, US. A lot of projects I did with clients based out of Europe, France, Hungary, Romania, right? And
Yeah.
I used to think, okay, this is how it happens in India. I wake up, I go through a traffic prone route, I reach office, I take my coffee, I sit on my desk, I start my work. How does they do it? How it happens on their time, right?
Yeah.
How the day happens, how that life goes on for a software engineer in the other side, or in the other part of the who's sitting on the other part of the meeting, right? And I did not get a lot of chance to interact with Australian
Yeah.
clients. But when but at some point of time in my career, right, I felt like okay, let me explore a bit more. Okay, and we know .NET, and we know how Microsoft changes its products, and over time .NET comes with new versions. Now we have .NET 8. Somewhere next year, probably towards the first quarter, we would have .NET 9 as well. It's on preview now, right? So it keeps changing. We know that cycle. But exploring a completely different country, a completely different work culture there, you know and aligning with software engineers lifestyle in
Hmm.
Australia would be exciting, you know. So that was my first motivation.
Oh,
Of
really?
course there
So you just, wow. Okay. So a lot of people
yes,
kind of move here for, I don't know, better living standards, like
yes, that is
uh,
there, that is of course
lifestyle,
there. Yes.
salary, some.
It is there.
Be
Yeah, I mean, I
okay.
those things are there. Of course,
Yeah.
salary, success, those things are, I'm not saying they are not important, right?
Yeah.
But when somebody comes to me and asks, like, what would you choose between success and excellence? I would say that I would choose excellence, because success will follow anyways if you choose
Yeah. Okay.
excellence, right?
Cool. So you
So
just wanna find somewhere to succeed in. Okay, but like more specifically, like are you more? But by the sounds of it, you're more like from enterprise background. So you wanna land maybe in like a big company or bank or insurance or whatever, where you would be like part of a big team with established processes, maybe leading the team. Yeah, or you kind of open to I don't know startups, or non-profits or. Um, I don't know, maybe you want to transition into project management. Like, how do you see yourself going forward?
yes, I would, because if you see, right, I have, as I said, I have exhaustive experience, and now I am at a point of my career where I want to lead. You know,
Yeah,
and I want a role where, because I believe that I have the, because over the years, the way I have seen the industry, right, it's not just technology, it's all, like talked about war rooms, right? So there are the other things surrounding it as well, and you have to take decisions, right? And I feel that uh, it is time for me to take decisions. It is time for me to also delegate work
take
to my team
responsibility for
members.
others.
Yes,
Yeah,
responsibility
understand.
for others,
Wait, so
delegation,
but
right?
did you but in your recent jobs, did you work as a team lead or you were just
Yes,
more
yes.
senior engineer? Yeah, okay,
No, no, no. I had reportees under me.
yeah,
The team was ranging from 6 to 9, 10 people, not more
yeah,
than that.
hmm
And they were reportees. They were reporting out to me,
yeah,
and my
cool.
job
So
was
basically, you want
to.
to continue doing that, right? So you're already at that level.
I'm already at that level, and I would love to continue with that.
Yeah,
But if in some workspaces, how it happens is, because now you're in a different country, right? You're in a different workspace altogether.
yeah,
So it may be also a thought that, okay, why not start as an IC role, contribute back, and then move
yeah.
to the lead role, right?
Yeah, because
This is
you need to
another
see an
perspective.
example. Yeah, yeah. Well, look, but at the same time, we are quite international, and the way software is built is the same everywhere. So if you worked in a multinational company with different offshore development centers, it's going to be pretty much the same here. We are all English-speaking world, Western world. So don't stress about it too much. I think you can land either jobs like a senior developer or test lead. Tell me maybe the next progression. Where do you want to go after that? Like, do you still want to be hands-on tech lead, or you want to go, I don't know, more like delivery lead, responsible for more teams and less coding,
Yeah,
project
I
management,
would.
business
Yeah,
analysis, anything?
yes, I would like to move into the delivery perspective, where you take decisions, you actually work at a program level. I had a bit of an experience working at the program level
Hmm.
in my last delegation. I mean, in my last engagement, my role was lead. But how it was is, I was, when you see from the client side, right, how they
Hmm.
used to see me as their chief, right?
Yeah,
Chief, in the sense, that's how they used to define their role from their side, right? Not from the service side.
yeah.
Service side had its designation. So from the client side, they used to call chief. So what does that mean is, you would be taking decisions, right? Every
Hmm.
decision, including recruitments, including technology,
Yeah.
including releases, you know, and that eventually goes into the delivery side, right? You work at a
Sure.
program level rather than just as a lead or, at the operational level.
Hmm.
So, and while working in that setup, right, I realized that, okay, maybe it's time for me to look at the in the future, right? It's time for me, it
Sure.
would be a good practice to move into the delivery side, because
Yeah.
there you get
But still in
chances.
technology, right? So you don't want to go into like program management or like stakeholder engagement. You want to be on the technical side.
I would like to remain on the technical side, but I would
Yeah.
also like to lead delivery, you know delivery in the
Okay.
sense, yeah, like for example, when you say a product, right, you have a roadmap.
Yeah.
You would define, from the product side, right? Product management will define
Yeah.
roadmaps, and you would adhere to those roadmaps, and you would plan your delivery accordingly. That,
Yeah.
okay, this is my team and this is my capability and these are my skill sets, and how do I balance my
Hmm.
available capacity to meet these delivery targets, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And
So we also call this role engineering manager. Yeah. Or delivery
yes,
lead. Or sometimes they are called, I think in Scrum of Scrum terms, they're called release train engineer, where you
release
have multiple
train
teams.
engineer, no, I would like to, I mean, because the way I have seen the release train engineers, right, they are more
Yeah.
aligned to the process.
Aha.
They Yes, what they would do is they would ensure from process perspective whether the delivery is aligned to the roadmaps, right? And
Yeah.
they follow the agile practices, right? Agile or
Yeah.
skilled agile, whatever is the delivery model, right? So that's this, they're more towards process.
Hmm.
I would like to overlap there as well, but my main focus would still remain on technology,
Yeah.
and leading the technology side and aligning it with
Yeah.
delivery.
Yes. Understand. Yeah. But you don't mind hiring people, interviewing, like doing performance reviews, because that can also, if you have reports, a lot of, let's say, a lot of, I think, delivery managers, sometimes, like there are multiple project teams, they don't report to project managers or scrum masters, they report to one, let's say, QA manager, functional manager, or delivery manager. But then sometimes I think, oh my God, I have like 20 or 30 people reporting to them. So just to do the hiring, just to do the promotion, everything to do with reviews, just HR stuff could take more than half of their time. Are you open to that, or you wanna prefer to stay more on technical side?
I would, no, I'm open to that as well. I would like to speak to, or I rather I would say I would like to know every person working in the team, right? Every individual. Of course, as you grow higher in the order of hierarchy, that becomes a bit difficult.
Yeah.
And I actually learned a lot of this, this delivery practices, or leadership practices, I would say, from one of my clients.
Mhm.
So he was actually holding a position as a director, and I was on the client side. I was working with him. I was on the client's hierarchy. I was reporting out to him, and he used to mentor me as to how I would manage my team, and
Mhm.
how I would align them to the focused goal, focused delivery roadmap, right? And that's where he used to tell me that you should know everyone in your team
Mhm.
who's working, right? And of course that is a bit stressful because as the team grows bigger, it is very difficult to know each and every one, right? So how you would do it is you would encourage the your immediate reportees to know
Mhm.
their reportees, right? And
Yeah.
over time that hierarchy builds by itself, that culture builds by itself, and you can know your team through them, right? The one
Mm.
who knows their team members, right? Of
Yeah.
course, I would definitely like to interview every individual myself, but as the team grows, as the portfolio grows, it may not always be feasible, right?
Yeah.
But what you can always do is, or if I'm in that kind of a position, right? What I'll do, I would prefer to do it is, I would do recurring meetings, if not
Hmm.
one on one, but definitely as a team, and understand whether the team, how the team feels, right? If
Sure.
the team is too much stressed out,
Hmm.
they won't deliver quality product, right?
Hmm.
So motivation also requires you to have some relaxation time for yourself as well.
You
And
sound like
are
a
they really?
people's person. So for the delivery lead, so what comes first? The product, the deadlines, the commitment, or the people?
Both, because it is the people who would eventually deliver the product, right? It
Hmm.
is not AI. Today, many people talk about AI and they say that AI will replace human beings.
Definitely helps.
But yeah, but I don't think it that way. I think many of the folks in the industry today do not understand the usage of AI. They won't replace
Mm,
people. It's your people who would eventually deliver your product, right?
yeah.
And of course, your roadmaps are important because they has because it has a revenue impact, right?
Hmm.
But when you set up a road, that's the whole point of having a roadmap designed, because you know it
Mm,
in advance, right? You know
sure.
in advance that, okay, after 2 months maybe, or after 1 month, I would give a major release, right? That's my
Yep.
goal in the roadmap, and I'll get my team ready for that point. I
Hmm.
will understand the risks behind it ahead of time, so that
Sure.
I don't stress out, whether my team don't stress out towards the end. And I'd also see what is the expectation for that roadmap. Is it realistic, right? What
Yep.
all features you're planning for it? If it is too
Hmm.
heavy, if it becomes too risky, it may not be realistic, right? Then I'll negotiate for those as well. That why don't we break this particular release into many internal small releases, or maybe follow up release in a month or so, right?
Hmm.
And split this out.
But
That
what if stakeholders are insisting, and what if they tell you no, we have to deliver the customers, like it's very important for the customer, or we're gonna lose that business, or whatever. Like, what if they insist? How do you like? Do you is there any are there any instruments at your disposal as a team lead or delivery manager to go and make people work harder?
Uh, there are two ways we can do that. First is, of course, your planning matters, right? Because your delivery roadmaps are set in advance, right? You know
Hmm.
that this would be a heavy target to meet, right? It may seem
Yes.
unrealistic based on the capacity that I have, right? And
Yes.
sometimes it is a bit difficult for us to recruit more folks in, right?
Yes.
It has again a revenue impact and it requires approvals. We may not be able to do that, but we
Hmm.
also can explore elastic capacity if we want to meet a very hard deadline, right? Of course, we
Yeah.
have several ways of using. Currently, we are talking about automating different SDLC processes, going through the CI/CD, and that reduces
Oh, but
human
you're running
human
behind,
effort.
so there is no time to
Yes,
focus on
yes,
CI/CD. You're
yeah.
running
So
behind. You don't have
yes,
enough hands. What do you do?
we
Start
can do two
exploring.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do two things. One is we explore elastic capacity
What's elastic
to
capacity? I'm not. It's another term I'm not familiar with.
so
Like working
elastic
overtime capacity.
elastic capacity is basically it is more of a terminology used in the software services industry rather
Yeah.
than product. The
Yeah.
reason is, in software services we have reserve resources who are not built onto a certain project, right? Onto a certain
Yeah.
product. Yeah.
Okay. No. No.
And
Not an option. Okay. Then not an option.
so when
What
we
else?
say
What else?
elastic
So you have set
capacity,
people. You have the team. You can't increase it. Have to deliver. They all understand they're behind. um, I don't know, because of technical issues or because it was misunderstood, missized, whatever, have to do it, you are seeing that you're not gonna make it. Uh, can you do anything to make people work harder and still deliver?
Well, if you are aligned with your team, you don't have to do anything extra. When you just call out in a team meeting that this is a very important target and
Yeah.
we have heavy revenue impact on these targets, your team will align with you by themselves, right?
Mm,
If you have to work on insisting your team,
yeah.
then you have to later see why did you have to insist in the first place,
Mm,
because the team did not understand the criticality of the moment. That can be one reason.
yeah. Yeah. What
You
if
did
they
not
just
communicate
challenge
back.
you? They just say, but it's unrealistic. What are you talking about? It's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, at points there are needs to stretch, of course, but
Yeah.
in those moments, you need not to insist, is what I'm saying. When you just call out, your teams will stretch by themselves. If you lead the team in a proper way right from the beginning,
Hmm.
your team will align with you. They would see you as the leader,
Yeah.
who is leading the initiative, who is
Hmm.
leading the product. I mean, the
Yeah.
delivery or whatever, right? And if they see you as a good leader, they would be motivated to stretch a bit of themselves, right?
Makes sense.
Of
Yeah.
course, you also
What
have.
if you are a new leader? You just
Yes, if
came.
I'm a yeah, if I'm a
Because
new leader.
all the projects in Australia, be ready, always running behind, because we are a very relaxed country. We wanna we discuss a lot, and then we take our time, no worries, everything will be fine. And then in the very end, when we lost a couple of people, we bring a tech lead like you, who is capable and everything, and just say, okay, you have to deliver it. By the way, people are lazy, you are new, yeah, but we have to deliver it. No elasticity, sorry, have to work harder. What would you do?
Yeah, so of course, I would definitely have to figure out some ways to motivate my team, because
Hmm.
if it's a hard target, if it cannot be negotiated, if the clients are very strict on that and they are insisting on the delivery
Yeah,
on that particular day, you have to deliver. You don't have a go, right? It's a
yeah,
revenue. It's a revenue impact, right? And
yeah.
it's that revenue that pays everyone's salary, right? It's the
Yes.
company's revenue, it's the product's revenue, so you have to do it in whatever way possible. So in those
So are you ready
times,
to work overtime just to show an example, to lead by
if it's
example? Stay late.
yeah, you have to see if it's the need of the hour. You assess that, okay, maybe for the next 1 week, right? But if it goes like for months, right, or for days and for weeks, then there is a possibility that your team will burn out, right? So
Mm, yeah,
those are the moments where you have to negotiate back to your customers and say that, okay, I have delivered and I have given the best, but now it's
mm,
burning out my team, and
yeah,
I need to figure out a way to find, I have to discuss this out with you. You have to be a bit realistic and reasonable from your side as well.
yeah.
I'm not denying that delivery is important and we will deliver, right,
Hmm.
on time. But if it's also burning out the team, then as a lead, we have to
Mm,
negotiate back to the customers as well.
yeah.
And most of the time, when I do that with proper data. I
Hmm.
capture the working hours, the real working hours, not the just the logged
Mm,
ones. I don't
yeah,
do micromanagement. I'm not a micromanaging person,
sure. Hmm.
but I know that my team is working,
Hmm.
and I capture all the data from different We have so many application and so many matrices nowadays, right? So I
Yes.
can capture that data and I go back to my customers and say that, okay, um, this is the data that I've captured for the past month or whatever, the past 2 sprints or 3 sprints, whatever. And this is what the team has delivered, and there's a good percentage of capacity that was actually over our available capacity that we have delivered. And most of the time what I've seen is with my, of course, with my ability to negotiate, I have seen that our clients had been reasonable there, and they
Mm,
say that, okay,
mm.
I see that, okay, you have your intention is right, and we will do our best to see what we can do, and it comes to a reasonable understanding as well.
Yeah.
And
So you need to
these,
back it up with something. Yeah.
yeah, and
Hmm.
over time, as you build relationship with your clients, right, these negotiations also becomes easier. Being a new lead,
Yeah.
it might be a bit difficult to negotiate, but over
Yeah.
time, as you build relationship with your partners, it becomes easier to negotiate because you have
Makes
already
sense.
delivered value. You have already proven yourself, and now you don't have to prove everything back again, right? Because they know that, okay, you're not faking, you have a problem and you're trying to discuss that openly. So most of the time it works.
Yeah, and in a way, yeah, Australia as a country or environment is also all about people, and respecting and being professional. So a lot of times there is understanding from the stakeholders if you can back it up with the real data, explain the situation and be calm and confident in the way you deliver your message, then there will be understanding and appreciation. So it's not that bad. Yeah, I'm just maybe exaggerating. I just want to see, um, yeah, how far you can go and stretch, and like, have you been in those situations or not? Can I ask another question? So are you solely .NET developer, you want to be in .NET space, or you're open to any sorts of or any other
i'm
stack
i'm
that you are
very,
familiar
very
with?
open to exploring different technologies. For example, recently I'm a bit excited about exploring how Python works.
Yep.
While exploring AI, I realized that there is a lot of stuffs that has already been developed in Python. The way we see AI and feel that it's very new, it's not actually that way. It is already there. It was already there, right? From years, for years, it has been developing. It is
Yeah.
now that the industry is adapting to that. So there's a lot of stuff that is already being developed there.
Mm.
And recently I was exploring that, and I was excited with it, right? While doing that, I also was excited with exploring Linux, right?
Yep.
Being a .NET person, most of the time I used to
Just
work with
Windows. Yeah.
Windows OS. Yeah, most of the time our laptops come with Windows OS in office, right?
Preset and everything.
Um,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, but when I saw Linux, I said, "Wow, this is a great stuff," and
It's improved
you
a
can
lot. Yeah.
actually, yeah, you can actually have that OS on a pen drive, and you can just
Mm.
plug in that pen drive and you can start using it. It's just
Mm.
awesome, and
Yep.
I was really excited about it. So I like exploring new technologies and new stuffs, right? It's
Yep.
.NET is just if you talk about C sharp, it's a language. Like English is a
Yeah.
language. Bengali, my
Yeah.
mother tongue, is a language. C sharp is just a language, right? So if I can speak in different languages, why not I can code in different languages, right? I can do
Of
that.
course.
And if I can do that, I can explore something new. Like .NET is a technology that we already know about, right? I can also explore Python. I can see what's going on there. I can explore some other technology as well. So I'm open to that, and I love doing it. Of course,
What
based on my
about?
capacity, but yes, I do that.
Yeah. Okay. No, sounds good. I think we've covered a lot. Anything else you would like to add? That kind of to advertise yourself. Mm.
Not much. I think I have expressed myself in all aspects on the professional side.
Yep.
So that's but on the personal side, a bit of how I am. Yes, as I
Yep.
said, I am a health conscious person. I do my workouts. I eat clean food as much as possible.
Mm. That
Uh,
helps in at work as well. Yeah.
yes,
Like if you're
and at
healthy. Your brain
Yes.
works better. Hmm.
Yeah, if you're not healthy, if you're not fit, you cannot work. You cannot deliver values to your corporate, your project or wherever, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And to keep my myself fresh, my thinking, my perspectives, my views fresh, I also sometimes step out of the digital world,
Mm.
and walk out into the nature. I'm a nature loving person. I'm a
Yeah.
wildlifer, naturist and a wildlifer. I go to the jungles. I photograph wild animals.
Mm.
I have a
Like real
hobby.
jungle.
Yeah, real jungle. India is the
Wow.
home of tigers, wild
I
tigers.
know. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
if
would
you
be
go
scary,
there,
no? Not
it
at
is
night.
not. It is exciting. It's adventure, you know.
Yeah.
And if you there are tiger reserves in there. If
Wow.
you go there and if you see the real ambience of a jungle, you'll be mesmerized. You know,
Yeah.
if you see how the animals call, right, when they sense danger, you
Yeah.
know, how the spotted deers call when they sense danger, you would
Wow.
you
Mhm.
would you would be just like, oh wow. I mean, when I first stepped in the jungle, I felt like there's so much outside the digital world into
Yeah.
the real world, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot of
Yeah, I mean,
species that live
yes,
different
yes,
lives.
yes, yes. When
Not
I came
everyone
to,
just a quarter in a cubicle.
yeah, when I reached Adelaide and when I look out of the window, I can see
Yeah.
the urban birds here. They're
Yeah.
just like, you can just see them outside your window on the trees, and they're so beautiful, colorful
Mm.
birds. Some days I just take my camera and I just, stare. You have to be patient. They're birds. They're very, very difficult to
Yeah.
shoot. So you have to be patient. So I'll just stand there and I'll stare at those birds, and I'll just photograph them. And yeah, photography is a very bad habit, by the way. uh, yes, because
Is it?
it is expensive. It is very expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes, I as a person, I love nature. I love
Mm.
to photograph
Well,
wild
Australia is a
animals,
great country
nature.
for it. We don't have jungle, so it's not as exciting. I like rainforests here, obviously. It's great. Yeah. A lot of bushes dry in the summer, it's very hard to kind of go into.
Okay.
But there is no dangerous animals, well, other than snakes and spiders, but I've never seen one. Yeah. Like, I mean, you see them, but you're not that afraid of them. There is no tiger to eat you. So Australia is much more accessible in terms of nature and, yeah, outdoors.
No, no, the tigers in India will not eat you because
No?
you'll be with your guide,
Yeah, okay.
who will take care of you. Of course, if you
Mhm.
follow the rules of the jungle, they will be there for you to, so
Can
that
monkeys
they'll help
attack
you out.
you?
Huh?
Can monkeys
Monkeys?
attack you?
No, 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 no. They won't. They won't.
In
Of
China,
course,
they
if you
do. When we
no
go
in
into touristy attractions in China,
no
monkeys they can snap your bag. They also they
no
know they hear the supermarket bags from far away. Yeah, and they just
yes,
come and they sometimes steal things. People like they can
that
steal your
is
purse with a phone and
yes,
just
they
run off to
can.
the tree.
No, that is something that even any monk in any part of the world, monkeys can do that, even in India, right? So you have to be careful with that. You should not
Yeah,
just carry your
tigers are
things
nothing.
like that.
Monkeys, stay away
Yes,
from monkeys.
you have to be
Yeah,
careful
because
with them.
we spoil them.
Yeah, but if, like, let's say that if you're carrying your wallet and a
Mm.
monkey tries to snatch it, you just give that monkey a banana in return. That will take that banana and go away. you know so you have to
Yeah,
be
but
careful
they
with
also
it.
get angry. They show you their teeth. It can be very intimidating. Like my
Yes,
daughter
yes,
was
yes,
freaking
yes,
out,
yes. It
and even
can be
I didn't know what to
intimidating.
do because I don't have any stick. Once you pick up a stick, they kind of back off. But
Yeah.
before you do that, like
Yes.
yeah, and you're surrounded. Like you don't know what to do. They can jump on you. Their teeth are sharp. You don't know how far they can go. You know, so yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't been to jungle, but to forests where you have to be careful.
Yeah, in general, yeah, you have to be careful a bit because they are elements, right? If in the cities you see monkeys as well sometimes, but they are not wild. But
Yeah.
they try to intimidate you when they are intimidated by themselves, right? And
Mm,
first rule of thumb is you should not poke them, right? You just should not bother them. If they are
yeah.
bothering you, you back off. You defend yourself with a stick, or like how you said, right? But don't go into and of course you follow the rules of your guide, whoever is with you.
Mm,
And you don't be over adventurous. That's not good
yeah.
at times, and you'll be safe.
Don't try to do selfies with them. Okay, that was a great conversation. Thanks very much for doing it. I hope you will land a great job and your career will progress further here. Are you here to stay, like your PR?
Yes, 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 yes.
Perfect.
I'm on a
And
PR
your
here.
wife, your child, you
Yes,
all
my
moved?
wife is also a .NET developer,
Oh,
and yeah, she too is with me here. I came with my family, and
that's great.
since we both are .NET developers, I don't like my son to speak in C sharp, definitely for sure.
Yeah, you should learn other languages
But
to raise him
yeah,
multilingual.
yeah, but
Awesome.
yeah, that's what me.
Okay, well, good luck with your career here, and yeah, thanks again for coming in.
Thank you so much for your time.
Cheers.
Thank you,
Nice talking. See
thank
ya.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye, bye bye.